My name is Roberta Bobby Harlan, and at 69, I thought I'd weathered every storm, war, losing my husband Ray, the quiet years alone. But nothing braced me for the heartbreak of my own son, Derek, and his wife, Nicole, turning their backs after I'd given them so much. For 4 years, I'd propped up their lives in a stylish Buckhead townhouse, paying $550 a month in rent from my VA pension and the savings Ray left me. I cleared $10,000 in debts when Derek's startup crashed, furnished their home with a $1,500 oak table and a plush sofa, and sent $300 monthly for groceries and incidentals. All told, I'd handed over $30,000, chipping away at the nest egg I'd planned for my twilight years. Derek was my pride, a dreamer I raised to chase his entrepreneurial spirit after Ray's passing. Nicole, with her warm hugs and bright smile, called me Mama, and I felt woven into their family tapestry. When their 10th anniversary loomed, I was overjoyed. I bought a $200 emerald dress, polished my old heels until they gleamed, and set aside a $2,000 gift check, envisioning the proud photos we'd take together. I even booked a flight from my home in Florida to Atlanta, eager to raise a glass to their love. Then, 3 days before the vow renewal, Nicole emailed with a casual tone, "Mama, the event's private, for special bonds only." The word struck like a stray bullet. Special bonds? I'd paid their rent for 48 months, erased their debts, and wired $4,000 to fund their Savannah celebration, yet I wasn't welcome. That night, scrolling YouTube, I stumbled on Nicole's channel, a recap of the event. There they were, her parents, siblings, friends, toasting under string lights at a vineyard, laughter echoing. The title, 10 Years Strong with Our True Family. I wasn't in a single frame, despite my sacrifices. I stood in my Florida kitchen, the phone heavy in my hand, my dress hanging like a forgotten promise. The betrayal wasn't just exclusion, it was a dismissal of my role. I cancelled the flight, shredded the check, and sat in silence, the weight of it settling. A week later, Derek called, his voice edged with panic. "Mama, the landlord's threatening eviction. Rent's late. Can you send $550? You didn't transfer this month." Didn't transfer. I'd never missed a payment, sacrificing my beach walks and VA clinic visits to keep their lights on. "Derek," I said, my voice steady but icy, "I only help family who includes me at the table." Silence crackled. "What's that mean?" he stammered. "You know exactly what it means," I replied, and hung up. That morning, I called my bank and stopped every automatic transfer to their account. My money, Ray's legacy, was mine to reclaim. The retaliation came quickly. 2 weeks later, I visited Atlanta for a VA reunion and checked on my old rental property. The tenant called, alarmed. Derek and Nicole had used a spare key to enter, rifling through my stored files, bank statements, and VA benefit documents. I drove over, heart pounding, and found them with a man in a grey suit. "Mama, this is Mr. Dawson, our lawyer," Derek said, avoiding my eyes. "We're worried about you." "You're acting irrational, cutting us off." Mr. Dawson stepped forward, his concern a thin veneer. "Mrs. Harlan, your son believes you're showing signs of mental decline, paranoia, erratic financial moves. We're here to discuss a power of attorney." My stomach churned. They weren't just after my funds. They wanted to label me unfit to control them. "Get out of my house," I snapped, my veteran's authority cutting through. "Now!" Nicole's eyes widened. "Mama, you're confused." "Let us help," I pointed to the door. "Out or I call the police." They left, but Dawson's parting jab lingered. "This isn't over, Mrs. Harlan." Sleep eluded me that night, the audacity burning. My own son scheming to imprison me. I called my old VA friend Faye, who'd battled similar family greed. She recommended an Atlanta elder law attorney, Susan Carter. The next day, I sat in Susan's office, unspooling the tale. $30,000 in support, the anniversary snub, the break-in. "Bobby, this is elder financial abuse," Susan said, her voice resolute. "It's a federal crime and we'll fight it." Susan helped me assemble evidence. Bank statements detailing $30,000 in payments, receipts for furniture, texts from Derek pleading for urgent cash. I installed Ring cameras on my Florida home with Faye and my VA friends, Joan, Linda, and Ruth, as witnesses to my lucidity. Susan arranged a VA psychiatrist, Dr. Patel, who confirmed my cognitive health was remarkable for 69. I opened a new account at a local credit union, shielding my savings. But they escalated. A month later, an adult protective services worker, Ms. Rivera, appeared at my Florida door. "Mrs. Harlan, we've had reports of paranoia, security cameras, cutting off support, hoarding VA meds." The accusations reeked of Nicole's manipulation. They'd forged claims of unpaid bills, my VA care was free, and stockpiling painkillers. I took only aspirin. I called Susan, who arrived promptly. "This is harassment," she told Ms. Rivera, presenting my VA records and Dr. Patel's report. Ms. Rivera, visibly shaken, closed the case. Then came the lawsuit. Derek and Nicole filed in Fulton County Court, seeking guardianship, alleging PTSD-fueled paranoia and incompetence. Their witnesses, Nicole, a neighbor named Greg who grumbled about my VA friend's parking, and my pharmacist, Mr. Lee, tricked into signing a statement about erratic aspirin buys. Susan and I fought back. We met Mr. Lee, who was mortified, explaining Nicole had misled him about insurance forms. He signed a new statement clarifying my purchases. Greg's testimony crumbled when Susan proved he'd never spoken to me. His paranoia claims stemmed from my cameras. The trial began on a crisp November morning in 2025. I wore my emerald dress, the one meant for the renewal, and walked into the courthouse with Susan. Derek and Nicole sat across, Derek in a crisp suit, Nicole in muted grey, their faces a mask of concern. Their lawyer, Mr. Dawson, wove a narrative of a traumatized vet swayed by shady allies. Nicole took the stand, tears flowing, claiming I'd turned paranoid and abandoned family. Susan dismantled her. "When did you last visit Bobby without asking for money?" Nicole faltered. "It's been a while with work," Susan pressed. "Was Bobby invited to the vow renewal you called special bonds?" Nicole's silence was deafening. Derek's testimony was worse. "My mum's always been generous, but she's unstable now," he claimed. Susan countered, "Is $30,000 over 4 years generous? How often did you visit without a request?" Derek couldn't respond. Our witnesses were ironclad. Mr. Lee explained the deception. Dr. Patel presented my stellar evaluation, and Faye with Joan, Linda, and Ruth testified to my vitality, our card games, my new gardening passion. I took the stand last, my voice steady. I gave them $30,000, my husband's savings, my pension, to support their dreams. But when they excluded me from Derek's vow renewal, calling me not special, I saw the truth. I was their bank, not their mother. I stopped the money because I deserve respect, Judge Ellis, renowned for protecting seniors, deliberated for 90 minutes. Her ruling was unequivocal. "Mrs. Harlan is fully competent. The plaintiff's case is driven by greed, not concern. Guardianship is denied. Elation surged through me." Susan squeezed my hand. Across the room, Nicole's glare hardened. Derek looked away, perhaps with a flicker of regret, but it was too late. That night, Faye hosted a celebration at her diner. My VA friends raised sweet teas to Bobby's victory. Ruth, who'd cut off her own freeloading niece, said, "You didn't just win a trial, you reclaimed your soul." She was right. 2 months later, I sold my Florida house and bought a cabin in Georgia's Blue Ridge Mountains. I donated half my savings to a veterans food bank, keeping the rest for myself. I fished in the mornings, mentored young vets in the afternoons, and joined a gardening club, my hands finding peace in the soil. Derek and Nicole. Word reached me they downsized to a studio. Nicole took a retail job. Maybe they'll learn what my love couldn't teach, the value of self-reliance. Some nights, on my cabin porch under the starlit sky, I reflect on the woman I was, giving endlessly, hoping for love that wasn't reciprocated. That woman's gone. In her place is Bobby, 69, who knows love isn't a ledger entry and freedom is worth every battle. The crickets hum a gentle song, a reminder of resilience. If my story stirs you, share your thoughts. What would you do in my place? If it inspires, support me to write more. Until next time, with gratitude, Bobby.